Hello everyone, my name is Kitetsu and welcome back to my channel. So we got a bit of an update on the Malign Portents Painting competition recently, and I think this video is going to be exceedingly short because there's not really much to say about it, but we do have all of the dates and a month by month breakdown of everything we have to do. The dates were all just given to us on an article on Warhammer Community, and as for exactly what we have to do, when I went into my local Games Workshop store on Saturday, they were giving out these painting competition leaflets, which you can see in the picture on the right. So basically, let's have a look at what we do in the competition. First thing you do is pick a Grand Alliance that you want to support in the global campaign that is coming. So for example, you might pick Order, Death, Destruction or Chaos. For me personally, I've got so many different boxes that I haven't painted up, I can basically just pick more or less any of these Grand Alliances. But say I went for my Sylvaneth, for my month 1, I have to get that box and paint it. Now obviously this seems a little bit like a big sales push for Games Workshop, because people who are new to the hobby are going to have to go out, buy a start collecting box and then paint it. And then in month 2 they're going to have to buy another figure. And in month 3 they're going to have to go out and buy a box, which is potentially quite expensive. However, the good thing is if you're getting into this hobby for the first time, chances are you probably will want to buy a start collecting box. They're exceedingly good value, and they kind of form the backbone of your army right there. And then on top of that, you would probably want to get some other units anyway. So although it's quite expensive, if you are getting into the hobby, that's probably what you would be doing anyway. And on the flip side, if you have been in the hobby for a while anyway, like I have, you will probably already have everything you need apart from the month 2 figure. So in that case, for people like me, it's incredibly cheap to get into. So month 1, you pick your start collecting box, you paint it, and then you wait for month 2. Month 1 ends on the 10th of February, and then month 2 starts. And the cool thing about that is it tells us that from the 10th of February at the latest, we can expect our 4 champions to come out for Malign Portents. So at least we have a window for the release date of those figures now. On the article on the website, Warhammer Community, it doesn't actually tell you which units you're allowed to pick for month 3. However, in the leaflet they handed out in the store, it tells you all of them. So let's just have a really quick look at those different units. If you're going to pick any of the start collecting box from the Death faction, you therefore have to pick Knight of Shrouds as your month 2 figure. For the 3rd month, you have to pick one of 3 different units. You don't have to paint all 3 of these units, just one of them. Otherwise that would start getting really expensive. But for example, if you pick Flesh Eater Courts, that would be your month 1. Month 2 you paint your Knight of Shrouds, and then from month 3 you can pick either Neferata, some Crypt Flayers or some Crypt Ghouls. If you went Skeletal Horde, you would get Vargheists, some Morghasts or a Soulblight Coven Throne to paint. Malignants would get either the Morghasts, Archon or Spirit Hosts. So here is what you would do for Destruction. I don't really need to read all of these different things out. If you want to read them in a bit more detail, just pause the video. But you would of course for Destruction get the Fungoid Cave Shaman for your month 2, and then pick one of these units below. And I've kind of colour coordinated them so that it should be pretty easy for you to tell which one matches up with which. Not much of a surprise, but obviously the Order faction have more start collecting boxes than the other 2 we've looked at so far. But me, for example, I already have a Sylvaneth start collecting box, which I have hardly painted anything in it at all. I've basically glued together the Spirit of Durthu and undercoated it. Other than that, nothing is glued together and nothing is painted. So I've already got that. I just need to buy a Lord Ordinata, and I've already got a Dryker Hammerdreth, which I've glued together but haven't painted. I've already got a unit of Kurnoth Hunters, and I've also got a box of Tree Revenants that I haven't glued together yet. So for me, I'm predicting that getting into this competition is going to cost me about £15, which is probably what the Lord Ordinata is going to cost. Hopefully they're not going to push it to 20 because I like the figures, but that would be a little bit off-putting. Here are all of the different options you have if you are going for Chaos. They have the largest number of start collecting sets by far, But you've got a nice selection of different units to choose from, and they're kind of logical, probably the ones you would expect. I think one thing that is a little bit of a shame is that if you go for Demons of Nergal, which I imagine a lot of people at the moment will, they haven't added the Great Unclean One model on there as an option. You know, you've got the Glotkin, but considering they knew when the release window was going to be for the Demons of Nergal new releases, it's a shame they couldn't have added those new figures onto the painting list. So yeah, this picture here literally just breaks it down. So month 1, you have till the 10th of February to paint your Start Collecting set, and if you went for Iron Jaws, month 2 you would have to paint the Fungoid Cave Shaman, and for month 3, which ends on the 31st of March, you would have a choice of these 3 units, which is a Maw Crusher, a Mega Boss, or the Brutes. And as I said earlier, you would only have to buy one of them, not all 3. And I've kind of actually summarised just some different options that I personally would go for myself on this picture here. Obviously there's a range of prices for month 3, so you can kind of get stuck with some expensive options, or potentially you can spend considerably less. But yeah, in a nutshell, that is basically the painting competition, and the only thing really left to look at is what the prizes are. Bit of a letdown. I think you get a certificate for winning the first month. They don't talk about any kind of prize for the second month, and for the end of the third month, apparently you receive a wristband, which I'm not sure why many people would want that, but hey, I guess it's more about the recognition of having won the event that's important. So how do you enter the competition? You basically, after having painted your figures, take them down to the store, and that is where they will judge them. If you want to know where your local store is, which I'm sure you already will by now, you can just click on this link here, which is the store finder, and say you lived in, I don't know, Rome, search for it. Wow, this is being slow, and there you go. There are all of the local stores near you. Now, if you don't live near a store and you still want to participate in the competition, all you have to do is take photos of your figures and upload them on the Warhammer Age of Sigmar Facebook page. And that's pretty much all there is to say about the competition. Hopefully that means that by the end of the 31st of March, we can start seeing the Malign Portents releases actually kicking off. Hopefully it will be in full swing by then, and the book will be out, the campaigns will be underway, and we will have a better idea of everything that's going to be happening over this year in terms of death. I would predict probably that the death battle tome will probably be out by then as well. But anyway, that was just a quick update on what this whole thing is. Let me know down below if you intend on getting involved. I'm quite excited. I think to me it does depend on how much those champions are going to be. I'm hoping they're not going to cost a ridiculous amount. I don't think they should be more than £15 each. But then again, you never know. I imagine they're going to be between 15 and 20. But personally for me, £20 for a single figure is simply too much. I actually love all of these figures and I would like to get all 4, but it really depends on what price Games Workshop are going to pitch them at. I wouldn't be surprised if they sold them as a bundle of all 4. However, when they do a bundle at Games Workshop, the idea is basically they just sell you all 4 figures for the exact same price as it would be to buy them separately. So yeah, let me know if you're going to get involved. Let me know if you're excited, and let me know if you're kind of pleased that Games Workshop is trying to do something a little bit different than just tournaments, which, don't get me wrong, I love the tournaments, and that's what this whole Malign Portents is going to be about. The global tournament, which will decide where the storyline is going to go. But anyway, thank you very much for your support. You guys are amazing. You've been killing it with all the support, and I will see you guys soon.